What up, YouTube? This is a kind of response to Burr's. Damn it. But, the whole Starbucks bullshit, you know, there are Starbucks that I've seen that have no firearms allowed things. There's Costco's that have them out here, and there's Chuck E. Cheese's, which is little kids. I don't know how far. I don't think they're that far off the West Coast or whatever. But it's a little like kids' place, um, and you know that's their deal. If they don't want fucking guns in there, then don't go in there. I mean, my God, I'm sorry you can't get your triple, falafel, fufu, limp wristed drink. But go somewhere else. Go to 7-Eleven, buy some real fucked up burnt coffee, like every other American, and live with yourself. Now, every once in a while, I like a frappuccino, but yeah, whatever. Or go through the drive-through. Most Starbucks have drive-throughs now, so yeah, there you go. But you know what? A lot of these companies or businesses are going to probably start doing it, and more are going to probably start doing it because of liability. And you'll go, well, what? What about liability? Well, I know Burrs won't, but there are people out there going, wait a minute, that's just stupid. No, not really. Because say if Joe Blow, civilian TMPer, was in there getting his foo-foo falafel fucking drink, and some guy comes to rob the Starbucks, because of course Starbucks would probably be a good target. And a lot of robbers don't go, oh, would there be a CCW holder or not in there? Well, they're not. They're not gonna, they probably won't knock off CCW Incorporated Coffees, but they will go after Starbucks, whether there's a sign up front or not. Just because it does a shit ton of business, and they probably only go to the bank once a day. So, it's a good hit. Now, oh yeah, and every fucking drink is like fucking $10. And they're small. And you can't just say small, medium, or large. You gotta go fucking fuck that. Okay. Now, so dude comes in, pulls out a gun, says it's a robbery. Points at the cashier and says, "Give me all your money." Points at the fucking manager and says, go open the safe, and he's doing his business, and they're giving up the money. Okay, key word, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Their tax write-off, because that's all it's going to be, is a tax write-off, or some cases insurance kicks in, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, and giving up the fucking money. And then civilian TMP fucking pulls out his big old fucking, 44 with the fucking 589,000 grain bullet, overpacked explosive, uranium tip, nitrated bullshit, because he can't handle a fucking 380. And he starts bopping this guy with the fucking bullets, and one of them goes right through the motherfucker, because nobody can just have a regular fucking handgun anymore, because God knows they don't work. So they go through this stupid shit bag, and it sticks into a lady's fucking collarbone. Snaps in half, the collarbone cuts her fucking artery, and she almost bleeds out. Okay? So now, luckily, somebody in there is smart enough to know a little bit about medical to put pressure on her to help, try to get this fucking done, and the hospital's close enough there, and there's some competent surgeon that saves her fucking life, and she gets done, and what happens in America? Which I don't blame her. I'd sue the fucking CCW holder too. Because even though, you know, he had no right to shoot through the fucker and hit her, he's liable for that fucking bullet, whether he likes it or not. Okay? You know, this is where people need to fucking get a goddamn clue about their fucking guns and shooting people. So now she's shooting this fucking CCW because even though he saved a day that really didn't need to be saved, he almost killed an innocent bystander. And just by sheer luck, she's fucking alive to sue now because of the world of modern medicine. Okay? So now she sues him, and now she sues Starbucks because Starbucks created an atmosphere for her to get shot in. Because they can control whether or not guns are involved by even regular people. And that's the key word, even by regular people. They could have at least put a sign outside that said no firearms. Now, it would not have protected them against a lawbreaker, but it should have protected them against an unlawbreaker. So, in a way, it would be very tough for Starbucks to get out of this litigation. So, because TMP or civilian bastard doesn't have no money, because he lives in his mommy's basement and plays Call of Duty all day, so Starbucks is going to be the big daddy on the settlement. So Starbucks is now fucked. Now, is the likelihood of any of this going to really happen? Sure, it can. I could totally see this happening. Has something like this happened before? Yes, people have shot through people and killed people. Okay? Your bullet you're accountable for your bullet. And I want people to listen to this very fucking clearly. You're accountable for your bullet, even if it goes through somebody and kills another innocent person. Okay? So, you're accountable for it. And in that situation, when the gunman's not doing anything other than a normal hold up, he hasn't pistol whipped anybody, he's just grabbing the money and going, and it's not gonna go good for you. Okay? Civilly, criminally, it's not gonna go good for you. So, Starbucks doesn't even want this bullshit to happen. They don't want a shootout in their fucking store. So they say, guess what? No. Now you'll say, but what about if cops come in and start shooting up? They can't control that. The cops have, they come in when there's a fucking bullshit like that. They can't control what the cops do. The cops are liable at that point. Because the cops take control of the scene. They take control of the property. So, yeah. And that would release Starbucks liability. And I'm not a lawyer, but come on, let's see. How many times have we seen these stupid lawsuits where corporations get brought in just because a person was sitting there? Something bad happens, and it doesn't even have nothing to do with the corporation, but because the person was sitting there, they get sued along with it. Starbucks doesn't want to be in it. Now, if I remember right, and again, I could be wrong, maybe Navy Medic knows the answer to this, but in San Francisco, at the very start of this whole open carry protesting bullshit, there was a weekly meetup at a coffee shop. I remember it was a coffee shop, and I think it was in Davis or Berkeley. It was somewhere right in there, and it was Channel 2 in San Francisco that was reporting it. And I thought it was a Starbucks until Starbucks kicked them out. Now, if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and you remember that story, was that a Starbucks? I'm pretty sure, because that's when it started. I noticed that issue. So maybe they weren't in a Starbucks, but Starbucks saw that as being a potential problem, or it was in a Starbucks, and I'm pretty sure it was in a Starbucks. And it got that's when all that started, because they didn't want that group meeting there anymore and everything else. I'm 95% sure that was a Starbucks.
because I know for if it started at that point. It started like in the Bay Area and kind of worked its way out. I think it only stayed in California because it was only an issue in California. But now Costco's have it too. And Chuck E. Cheese has one that says, some of these ones say like Chuck E. Cheese, you'll be charged with criminal trespass. So that means if you get caught in there with your gun, your CCW days are done for good. You'd never get one again. It's the Supreme Court has not granted it a right, even though if you want to believe it is or not, they have not granted it as a right. So, till they do, the local sheriff can play fucking games. You get charged with criminal trespass because you have a weapon, you're not going to have it anymore, okay? You're not going to have that CCW anymore. I 99.9% guarantee you of that. So if you're a CCW holder and you see a sign like that, you have two options. Well, you have two options. You can keep your gun on you and go somewhere else, or you can take your gun off, secure it, and go in and enjoy yourself. You don't have to go there. Nobody has to go in these places, okay? So it doesn't matter if I think it's right or wrong. I think it's okay for them because it's their fucking property. I can put a sign out on my front door that says no guns, okay? So I could put a sign on my house that says all visitors must have purple underwear or else. It's my property. It's their property. They can do whatever else. If you don't like it, and that's cool if you don't like it. Why do you think I was just making fun of Starbucks' coffees? Okay? If you don't like it, then don't go there. Okay? It's that easy. Now, there is a video hidden somewhere on here in somebody's channel that they went to they went to Chuck E. Cheese, and I've been just kind of sitting on this, kind of just wishing maybe they'd come to their senses and pull it down and just don't do anything. I don't know if it's still, I haven't checked in a long time, but the person went to Chuck E. Cheese. The person saw that there was a sign outside, and he got offended because they put a sign up. And then he proceeded to go inside, stating the fact that he was carrying his weapon. Not only is that just completely fucking stupid to even be doing that on, I mean, what if, of course, because later on, he's on video and stuff like that, he can have a CCW yanked just for that if the sheriff saw it. And when you're in a corp store like that, mentioning a corp name, trust me, they search their name out on the internet now. Yes, they do. Starbucks searches the internet. They pay people to play on YouTube. I know, it's the greatest job. You should go try to find one if you like it. They all do. Okay? So, I mean, hell, Comcast Cares on Twitter sits there and looks for bad shit about Comcast on Twitter all day. If they saw that and turned it over to the local sheriff, and the sheriff saw it and figured out who you were, he could take away your CCW just for that. But let me give you a better scenario for people to understand why this is important. Just to just don't go to these places. Boycotting ain't going to do nothing to a corporation. They ain't give. One liability suit is not going to boycotting is not going to take away what happens in a liability suit. So they're not going to give a shit. They're not going to care if 10,000 people don't come. They don't care. So don't even. It's a waste of time. But anywho, let's look at going into a place, especially a kid's place. A place that's 100% geared to kids under 13 to enjoy. They got ball pits, they got video games, they got shitty pizza and everything else. And they got tickets and prizes, and it's a carnival that never moves, with better shit that never changes. But okay, say if you're in there with your kid, they got that sign up front, and some Ginny Blowjob is at the counter, okay, and Ginny Blowjob is sitting here twisting her hair and, popping her bubble gum, and you reach down to pick up your kid, and all of a sudden your shirt flies up and there's your gun. Gee, that's never happened before. Look at everybody worried about printing so much on here, because it's a concern. So your shirt pops up and, hey, look, there's a gun. And Ginny Blowjob backs up a little bit. She turns around. She goes and tells her boss, that guy over there has a gun. And her boss goes, oh, it doesn't matter if it's a good guy or a bad guy, because they said no fucking guns. So they instantly call the cops. They're not going to come over to you. No, because they want the cops here to bust your ass. So they call the cops, okay? And here's what happens next, because this is the next part's the best part, Here, I'm going to talk like that fucking SOPA guy. Really? So the dispatcher gets the call, and they go, oh, okay. And they're going to radio out, man with a gun. Instantly, priority call. Chuck E. Cheese's, 1424 Main Street. And you're going to hear every officer call in, Chuck E. Cheese, Main Street, code 3, whatever their lights and sirens. We're going to do 100 to their code. Every department's a little different. Usually code 4 means they're cool. Code 3 means they still need help, whatever. Code 0 is no lights, no sirens, whatever. Something like that. I keep forgetting. I know code 4 is okay. But anyways, so they go run, but here's the problem. Who has scanners? The media. Even in their mobile rigs, they all got scanners. The newspapers, they all got scanners, even in their mobile rigs. I felt so. They do. Okay, even in small towns, they got scanners. So what do they hear? Dispatchers say, man with gun, Chuck E. Cheese, 1442 Main Street. They go, holy shit, man with gun. They're going to send, every TV station is going to send somebody there at 90 miles an hour. And literally, I'm not shitting you, they will go 90 miles an hour to get there. And they're going to fly in because they know all the cops are going there. And the cops ain't going to stop, so they're just going to go there too. I've watched them do it. I've watched Channel 3 in Sacramento send a helicopter north to where I was, 90 miles north. And that helicopter was doing 150 miles an hour to get to a story they needed to be at. So, yeah, they'll send people out there. And what's going to happen on the news when they see somebody get arrested? They're going to say a concealed weapon permit holder arrested at Chuck E. Cheese for concealed carrying a weapon. Now, of course, once you get downtown, they're going to let you go and all that other bullshit. But they're going to take you to jail. At that point, they're going to get a little pissed. They're going to take your firearm away from you. They're going to fuck with you. Then you're going to have to petition to get your firearm back and all this other bullshit. Your CCW is going to be gone for good. And you're going to not like life. And hopefully you get out of the whole thing and they don't somehow get you with a felony. But it's not you that I give a shit about. It's the thing on the news. CCW holder caught at Chuck E. Cheese with a gun. Now, I want to tell something to people. People worry about anti-gun people so much. Don't. You're really not going to change it. Stop worrying about that bullshit. Here's something to do. Stop pissing off the middle ground, okay? Not the gun lovers, not the gun haters, but the people who just don't really give a shit. These people here, They would rather see the Constitution survive than make a new law. And that's been proven, okay? So stop pissing these people off to make them into gun haters, even for one law. And a lot of that has happened in California. So, yeah, if you don't like these fucking things, then don't go to the place. Boycotting them is not going to make them take down their signs. They don't give a shit about you that much. They don't. Because one lawsuit can cost them $10 million. How many CCW holders are going to protest to outfit, to outweigh $10 million? They ain't going to give a shit about you. They're not. Not when they're that big. So keep that in mind. If you don't like it, stay the fuck away. Because you're not doing any good. Even boycotting is not doing really any good. It's just silly. Because now you're stating that they don't have a right to feel how the way they feel, and that's just stupid. Because you don't like it when the anti-gun owners say, yeah, whatever. Peace.